George, where do thoughts come from?
You mean like brain wise, or are you already suspicious?
No, I mean how I feel them because at first it seems like our brains are just making them up.
Which makes sense. That's the common sense view. I have a brain, so I think thoughts. Done.
Yeah, but something messes with that idea. Sometimes I do have a thought that I didn't expect. One that feels like it came from something external. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So some days I'm just about my business, doing my normal stuff, not planning to think about anything in particular. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, a thought hits me like a realization about my life that is so strong. But then that makes me to like take a step backwards and think about it because I didn't expect to have that thought and I wasn't even planning for it. So how can I think of something that I wasn't even aware of?
So if you didn't already know the idea, how could you create it? Kind of feels more like you discovered it.
Right. It seems like when people are in the same situations and dealing with the same pressures without talking to each other, they begin to have the same kind of thoughts. Like when you're singing a song in your head and then your friend who is just there and you're not talking to him just happens to sing the next verse out loud. I think that happens way too often to be a coincidence.
Like thoughts aren't locked inside us, but more like floating around, like we tune into them.
Exactly, like thoughts are frequencies that we tune into. Every guy thinks he's original when he's telling a girl he's not like other guys, but a smart girl can figure that out because she has heard it over like 50 times. It's not like this guy invented that line. Every guy in that situation seems to always come up with like, it seems like that thought of I'm not like other guys is what is available to guys in certain situations.
That's low key terrifying because if thoughts aren't ours, how many of us are just repeating scripts we never wrote?
But wait, are there actual studies on this? Like, is there science to back up the fact that thoughts might be separate from the individual, or am I just sounding like a conspiracy YouTuber right now?
Surprisingly, you're not off. There are studies that hint at this. There's this idea called collective cognition. Basically, when groups of people under the same conditions tend to arrive at similar thoughts or solutions without directly communicating. And mirror neurons, those fire in your brain when you do something and when you see someone else do it. It blurs the line between personal and shared experience. There's even this thing in psychology called convergent thinking, where different people arrive at the same idea independently, especially under similar pressures or environments. So, the science doesn't fully explain it, but it definitely nods at it.
All right, so I'm not completely off track. There's some science to back up what I feel. But let's talk about addiction. If you've ever tried to fight an addiction, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's say you're trying to quit porn, like smoking, whatever you're trying to quit. What happens is that your thoughts become strategic, and it seems like your thoughts have a mind on their own and they have their own agenda of what it's trying to accomplish. So let's say you've been fine for like a month without going back to whatever you were trying to quit. What happens is that a thought out of nowhere will come into your mind like, it's long enough. One more wouldn't hurt. Why would my thoughts want to do that to me? Like, I struggled all my life to like get rid of this shit. Why would I randomly just think of going back? Like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, the classic just one trap. It's sneaky.
Exactly, and it's not a random thought, it's a calculated one. And that's the freaky part because you're trying to quit something, and then your thoughts is now trying to trick you into making a decision that you know is not good for you. That's just crazy. And sometimes it doesn't even feel like their own, it doesn't even feel like they are your own thoughts. It feels like there's something else trying to pull the strings, trying to get you to do things that you really don't want to do.
So it's not just that thoughts come out of nowhere, it's that they're almost persuasive, like they've got their own motives.
Right. It's like your own mind is negotiating with you, trying to get you to do the things that you are actively trying to fight against. You would think your thoughts should be on your own side, but sometimes these weird things happen.
That's a lot to take in. It almost feels like our minds have conflicting forces at play, parts of us pulling in opposite directions.
Exactly, and that's where it really gets confusing. You are the one thinking, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like you are the one always in control. So, if thoughts aren't really coming from us, then what are we really in control of? It's not like we're the ones deciding what gets to pop up into our heads, right?
Yeah. And it gets even weirder when you start noticing those intrusive thoughts. The ones that just show up uninvited.
Like when I try to focus on something important, then my mind just throws some random things at me. It might be very embarrassing or very irrelevant, but I can't just stop thinking about it. It seems like the more I try to stop thinking about it, the more I can't help but think about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like trying to put a song out of your head, but the more you try to forget it, the more it's stuck there.
It makes you wonder, why do they feel like they have their own agenda? If I'm supposed to be in control, then why do these thoughts, like, why do they have the ability to hijack my focus?
Yeah, it's like your thoughts are running on their own autopilot and you're just along for the ride. But maybe the real answer is learning how to take back the wheel instead of letting those thoughts steer you.
Right. Maybe, and that is what I realize. I think it's more about finding a way to manage it rather than controlling everything. But I think this is a very good place to stop for this video. So we've gone through a lot, and the video is getting a little bit long. So, George, do us the honor and wrap this up for us.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thanks for hanging out with us today, everyone. If you found this conversation interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any more discussions like this.
So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.